Yeah, good evening, everyone. So let's quickly start the session. So see the first question of the day. Defying the barriers of age, gender, and religion, the Indian woman became the torch bearer during the struggle for the freedom in India. Nice question. Such questions are like offbeat questions, which because generally we don't expect such questions. And these kind of questions, especially all the 4 questions today, actually demand a certain kind of thought process and analytical approach by you people within modern India. So in that context, just try to take 2 minutes and answer this 13th question, which is the first question of the day. Yes, please. Based on the discussions we had, how do you introduce? How do you introduce this question? Okay, you want to introduce by acknowledging women's contribution in the context of freedom struggle, contribution of women, social sphere, political sphere, contribution. Okay. Any other way? Any other way? Any other way of approaching this question? You want to say social constraints didn't limit women from participating. 5 to 6 women freedom fighters and their contribution. So you want to conclude saying that more visibility after Gandhiji. But more women were there even after Gandhiji. I mean, after Gandhian phase took off in 1917, obviously more women participated. So in this 5 to 6 examples which you are trying to give, post-Gandhian phase women are also there. However, okay, conclusion with Gandhian-led movements is a good way. Just try to think something. What I was trying to tell you, introduction should have certain flow supporting the statement of answer. If possible, any previous context. Conclusion should have continuity with regard to the question. And body should deal with the core demand of the question. In that context, now you think this is our template, right? Which we are trying to discuss. Sriram?
Yes, sir.
So in the template, what we are discussing, try to give the introduction.
Sir, can we start by saying that women not only started from this particular time, before also women tried to revolt against the British and all.
When what is the context you want to tell?
Like, not only from freedom struggle, women played a role in previously also.
Okay. But it was not the national movement, right? I am trying to look for one particular point because coincidentally today the 4 questions are really good. Okay, not the conventional modern Indian history questions, which give an element of innovation, thought-provoking content. Shanta Prasad, you are there in the class?
Yes, sir.
Others want to try. Jitender, Soumya, Vasavi, Anil. I'm just trying to look for one point. Maybe you can have a better introduction or maybe disagree with that introduction. Okay, I'm just trying to go to the question. Because when I read the question, I felt, "Arey yaar, this is good question where I can actually impress the examiners." I hope my screen is visible for you people, right? My video,
Yes, sir.
my video I have switched off, but the screen is visible, right? Yeah. So in this context, defying the barriers of age, gender, and religion, Indian women became torch bearers during the struggle. Okay, just in introduction, when I read this, I felt I have the scope of bringing socio-religious reforms of 19th century. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
How would, I'm just proposing this, you may reject it, but what I'm trying to say in the introduction is the socio-religious reforms of 19th century have empowered women who have gone a long way in playing active role in independence struggle, in the struggle for independence or whatever it is. How is this introduction?
Actually, I touched this point in introduction, sir.
Huh? Okay, who touched it is I am not bothered because I have not read your model answers. Okay, because this is what I felt when I saw this particular question. Is it fine? Suman, do you agree with this? Bringing the narrative of socio-religious reforms so that the examiner is understanding that, let's be honest, the role of women or the empowerment of women started only after 1850s, and by and large this is because of socio-religious reforms. So if they have played crucial role in the independence for next 100 years, that is because of this particular issue only. So highlight that in your introduction, and now come to the body. And as Sumant or someone said, here you have a scope of explaining 5 to 6 different women, and we all know many important women. Okay, Rani Gandilu, Madam Kama, and you can write about who else? Who else have fought? Indian women, Vijay Lakshmi Pandit, Sarojini Devi Naidu, Sarojini Naidu. You can write about Aruna Asaf Ali. Aruna Asaf Ali.
Lakshmi Sehgal.
Yes, Lakshmi Sehgal. Lakshmi Sehgal. So all these are, you can write any 4 or 5 important names in the body. Explain what they have done. Like Rani Gaindlu was one of the youngest freedom fighters from the Northeast. Madam Kama, the first woman to go and hoist the flag in the European nation. Vijay Lakshmi Pandit. So she is the sister of Jawaharlal Nehru and have been actively participating in the latter half of independence, especially after advent of Gandhi. Same is the case with Sarojini Naidu, first INC Indian president, Indian woman president. Because first woman is Annie Besant, we all know that. And first this Sarojini Naidu, and how she has gone on to write many articles on independence. Aruna Asaf Ali, role during 1942 Quit India movement. Lakshmi Sehgal, how she could inspire many in the army. So all this you can briefly mention. And in the conclusion part, you will mention that the national movement has been a kind of awakening for women in India. Awakening for women in India who defied all odds, and from the advent of Mahatma Gandhi, their participation has only increased, which reached its peak during Quit India movement, and they have subsequently gone on to play important role in independent India. This is a conclusion I'll give. So you see how I have traveled across history through just one answer. I have traveled from 1850 to almost 1950 in this answer. And what I have done here precisely is, at no point I have deviated from core demand of the question. Core demand I have maintained as it is, but I have traveled across the timeline. How is it? It's fine, or you have anything to suggest? Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Rajani, that is also fine. See, how to deal with the core demand of the question is the presentation of each and every one. Okay. Either you can mention the names of the various people in chronology, or further you can divide these phases like before 1885, after 1885, after advent of Gandhi. You are very much welcome, man. Not at all a problem. Okay. So I have done Rajni, Sumant and Shanta yesterday. So today we'll do the remaining four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anil. Anil, you are in the class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have chosen Gandhi here. Okay, no problem. See, I'm not going to alter your presentation style, but what all I'm trying to give you is idea of how to travel across the timeline. Okay, you're mentioning one after the other. Matangani Hazra, Aruna Asaf. So here, Anil, when you're trying to mention, names, for the ease of the examiner, there is no hard and fast rule. But see where you have brought Rani Lakshmi Bai. Isn't she one of the first women you have to mention? If you want to mention Rani Lakshmi Bai, it should be here. And such things should be in chronology. It will be appreciated. If you are mentioning the names in chronology instead of random, it will be really very good. Understood, Anil?
Okay, sir.
Bikaji Kama also, she is in 1910s. So she should also come at the top. Aruna Asaf Ali is almost like last. Aruna Asaf Ali, Lakshmi Sehgal, all these people in the later half of independent movement. Okay, good. So only thing is you have to change the way you are mentioning the names. Okay.
Okay, sir.
See the next question. Since the decade of 1920s, okay, this we have discussed, but in this module we are going to discuss it again. Since the decade of 1920s, the national movement acquired various ideological strands and thereby expanded its social base. Again, a very good question. Try to understand what are the various ideological strands. Yeah. How many of you agree with me that the 14th and 16th question are one and the same? At least 80% same.
Yes,
Kind of
sir.
same.
Huh?
Yes, sir. It's a kind of.
Yeah. Go on, Jitendra.
Yes, sir. It's a kind of same. Mostly we can divide that. But here we explained the complete timeline. But in 16th question, only that Gandhian phase voices only.
Here again, see the question, Jitendra. 1920s. What is 1920s?
Yes, sir. Gandhiji entered into the freedom movement.
From 1920 to 1947 is again Gandhian phase only, right?
Yes, sir.
See, the interesting thing, they have repeated the question 2 successive years. Very rare. Just reframe the question and it became a different question. Here they said 1920s. Here they said Gandhian phase. Popularly, Gandhian phase is 1917 to 1947. Here, instead of directly asking that, they said 1920s. Here they said what are the various voices. Here they are saying what are the various ideological stands. See how much similar the question is, and yet it looks very different. All it takes, that's why year on year, many of us keep saying, please practice previous papers. When you practice previous papers, what you're going to do is you are getting used to UPSC way of questioning. You'll get used to the UPSC way of questioning. And then you'll understand the taglines, critically examine and all. And then, of course, you are revising the entire subject. And then there is a slightest of probability of questions being repeated. And this probability is very high in your GS4 paper. But again, GS1, 2 and 3, also there is reasonable probability of questions being repeated. I'm even today saying from 2013, when the UPSC pattern changed, up to 2022, you do all previous year questions before mains, and you'll definitely be very, very comfortable and get at least 100 plus in your GS papers. This is a strategy you have to do and follow in a very at most faithful way. And of course, that is what we are doing now through this revision through PYQs or the mains mentorship program. And this is the strategy which we discussed, and we are going to do it for all the subjects. So coming to the 14th question, I like the way introduction was given by Suman. How he has given, you can just see it. You see the introduction. I hope you are able to see the chat window also, right? You guys are able to see the chat window?
Yes, sir.
So here he says, you see here, Suman, spread of education and exposure of Indians to global historical events resulted in Indians adopting various means to achieve freedom. So the context is being set. So why you have this communism, socialism, communalism, why you have all these kind of ideologies is because we are exposed to the education, and that education, modern education, has enabled us to go and actually get information about various ideologies. Because though 90% say of the people were following Gandhian ideology, in the 10%, people were not blindly Gandhi supporters. They had a rationale of analyzing Gandhian approach to communists. Gandhian approach to socialists, and then you had the Wahhabis, you had the Khilafat movement. So all these are various ideologies. You have the peasant movements, you have the revolutionaries. Why so many things were happening in parallel is because they were trying to analyze, and what is the reason for analysis is the education. And the conclusion, you see, each of them complemented and supplemented each other. That is what the examiner is looking for. That don't say Gandhian ideology has dominated someone or XYZ. So here you will write the basis for so many ideologies is basically the spread of or exposure to modern education, whereby we could follow the world and understand various ideologies. Okay? Coming to the body, here you will mention various ideologies. Gandhian phase, you say Khilafat ideology, you will talk about communists, you will talk about how Muslim League played its own part, revolutionaries, Gandhian phase, you write 1917 to 1947, and Gandhi is an encyclopedia, everyone knows information about it, his approach of non-violence, and then his mega movements like non-cooperative movement, civil disobedience movement, and Quit India movement. In Khilafat, you will write how during NCM this issue became prominent. Communists, how they were inspired by the Russia's growth or model. Muslim League 1906 onwards, how they tried to carve their own identity, and later this became communal issue. Revolutionaries, HRSA, Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, okay, and then Kisan movements, socialists, and then tribal movements. So much you can write, and in the conclusion you will write, though these movements look very discrete in nature, they all worked in tandem and against a common enemy called British, and thereby they could not defeat, they were complementing each other in the fight. This is the answer. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So we'll do Sri Ram. Okay, good. Enjoy. Labor movement, caste-based movements. Okay. So Sriram, you forgot the main movement of 1920s. What is that ideology? Main ideology?
Yes, sir. Gandhian.
So if you see the next question, which is the 16th question, is that 16th or something different? The next question is 16th, right?
16th, sir. Yes.
So in 16, you have the scope of mentioning other movements as a prominent one, because he's already mentioned Gandhian in his question. He's saying during Gandhian phase, what are the other voices? So there you can mention remotely Gandhian for 1 to 2 lines and then concentrate on other voices like this. But in this question, he's saying 1920s. So during 1920s, prominent ideology which the entire India got influenced was of Gandhian ideology. Yes or no? And hence there has to be a side heading of Gandhian and has to be an elaborate mention of his contribution. Rest of all dimensions are good. Maybe you can consider adding, you have added labor. So you have mentioned communist ideology through labor. So you can mention the Kisan movement and then revolutionaries, Muslim League,
Yes, sir.
Hindu Mahasabha. These are all ideologies, right? Everyone had their own way of achieving some goal. Okay, good. Yeah, see the third question. So 16th question we will discuss very briefly because it's a repetition. 15th we will try to discuss in detail. See the 15th question and give the answer which you think is right. So Rajni, what are the constructive programs? So you can name few programs. Anyone else? Yes. So here the demand is, yes, Vasavi, good points. Santa, Sumant. I hope now you people got the intent of the question by the examiner. A very latest question, last year UPSC Mians question. So the challenge is you have to think about such kind of answers in 30 to 45 seconds. I have given you fairly 5 to 6 minutes. So you people are able to analyze, then go back to modern Indian history, think about 1920 to 1930, what all Gandhiji has done, and then able to reflect. Fair enough. But what will you write in the intro? In intro, you can use this particular question as an opportunity to convey the respect Mahatma Gandhi enjoyed in the Indian independence movement. You can say that Mahatma Gandhi was the stalwart of Indian independence movement, and he has had a long-lasting, great impact, and as a part he has taken various programs, various movements, and between those movements he has taken up various constructive programs which showcase the great ideology and thought process of Mahatma Gandhi. Look, one thing, if you have to crack UPSC, you have to have very good understanding and respect for Mahatma Gandhi. Please be assured. Okay. So then coming to the body, you can talk about the phase, the timeline that is from 1920 to 1930. Okay. So after between this 1920 and 1930, so what are the constructive programs done by Mahatma Gandhi? The first is Hindu-Muslim unity. Hindu-Muslim unity during the Khilafat movement, which is subset of the non-cooperation movement. Harijan upliftment. He fought for the rights of Harijans. Bardoli Satyagraha. Bardoli Satyagraha. Okay, Bardoli Satyagraha. Then spreading education. Spreading education. Promoting khadi. Promoting khadi. Okay, promoting khadi. And then supporting empowerment of villages. He strongly believed in empowering villages. So these are some of the points you can write. And then you can, because if you see, all these are constructive programs done by Mahatma Gandhi during this phase. And in the conclusion, you can write the contribution of Mahatma Gandhi was not only limited to the political angle, but he has gone on to contribute in socio-economic way of life. And if you want to be much more innovative, you can say Gandhi is himself a way of life. This will be like a punchline, what you do in your essays. In conclusion, because it is asking you about a particular person, you have the freedom of writing. Gandhi was not a personality or a eminent person. Gandhi is a way of life. It looks really impressive for the examiner when you quote this particular line. That means you are just summing up of Gandhi, that Gandhi is not political influence, or Gandhi himself is an influence on life. He himself is a philosophy. That is how you conclude the answer, and it will look really good. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Please try to understand this 15th question. If you have any doubt, I'll try to repeat. If you think the approach is something else, or if you have anything you try to ask, because UPSC, these kind of questions are becoming common. Don't expect a straightforward question. Write about Quit India movement, write about NCM, write about CDM. UPSC is also changing its way of asking questions. Now they are more analytical in nature. You have to apply your mind of what you have read, analyze, and come up with these kind of answers. And the beauty is, we have discussed nothing that you know, that you don't know actually. Whatever I have discussed, every point, every single line, you know it. There is nothing surprising which I have put in front of you. All that is, I have extracted what I have read and addressed the core demand of the question in the body, and logically framed my points so that the examiner is trying to know what I am trying to think. And the game of UPSC Mains is to think in these lines in 1 minute. That is how, the moment you get that connect of thinking in 1 minute, these kind of answers are cakewalk for you guys. And as I told you yesterday, the more you want to be towards the double-digit rank or touchwood single-digit rank, the more you have to inculcate, the more you have to be faster in understanding the demand of the question and presenting it as asked by the examiner. Because there are many people, in fact, all the 10,000 aspirants who are writing the mains, everyone can write the answer for every question after coming out of the exam. Or if you give 5 hours for those 20 questions, everyone will write beautiful answers. Challenge is to write 20 questions in 3 hours. This is the challenge, and this is where your revision and the practice helps. This everyone can do. Even you people can do this today, I am sure. But from here to here, you are thinking it's only 2 hours compressed, but it requires lot of lot of practice. Clear? Indu, you are there in the class? That is not, there is no inactive phase. Just because NCM and CDM are big movements, it is not inactive phase, man. Don't try to, if you use those inactive phase and all, unnecessarily you will attract attention of the examiner. Okay? Okay, points are good. Okay, conclusion can be slightly better, what we discussed. Jitendra, you are there?
Yes, sir.
You have written the last question? Sorry. This question?
Yes, sir.
Promotion of Khadi, Swadeshi, untouchability. Don't say liquor. Use good words.
Yes, sir.
Liquor is KCR language. Why you want to use that?
We am habituated to that word, sir. I will change it.
Habituated to the word or the content itself? Huh?
Those are only word.
You can also say he set up various ashrams, right? For way of life.
Yes, sir. I will include it.
Encourage women.
Yes, sir.
Good. Who has written the last answer? I'll directly see
written,
the
sir.
answer.
Santa
You have
Prasad.
written.
Sir, I also wrote, sir.
Who is that?
Sriram, sir.
Okay, sure. I'll see both of your answers. Not a worry. Okay, good. You have started off with what is Gandhian phase. This is not required. Again, you have added some points here which are not required. This was good. Straight away come to the core demand. Shanta Prasad, the faster you come to this part of this answer, the better you are positioned in your way you are presenting to the examiner.
Okay, sir.
So can you, instead of writing reconstructive work, You can say voices of unheard or oppressed sections of society. How is this word?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Better, sir.
Okay, you have to write. Reconstructive work is a very vague way of presenting it. So better to write these kind of jargon, which will make a lot of sense. Socialist. Swaraj is, okay, it was a very brief period, right? Again, they have combined and came into INC. Okay, anyhow, that socialist, Hindu nationalists, communists, peasants, tribals. Up to here, it is really good. This can be slightly modified, Shanta.
Okay, sir.
From here, you can say these various voices complemented each other and made British feel the actual heat post the Quit India movement. Okay,
Okay, sir.
good. Sumant, you have written the last one. Rajni has written, so I'll see the Rajni's answer also, not a problem. So again, introduction is very lengthy, slightly lengthy, Sriram. Maybe you can write this here and this part you can use in your conclusion.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Voice of Muslims, voice of women, voice of revolutionaries. You see, almost you made the same content, but had a completely different answer. Are you able to understand, Sriram?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. Here, even if you are not mentioning much about Gandhian ideology, it is still okay. But in that question, you had to mention Gandhian ideology as a key ideology.
Yeah, yes, sir. I got it. I'll.
Good. So probably that particular paragraph, you can write it here.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Intro was really good. You can write their contribution during Quit India movement and CDM. You can say during CDM. Merchants and traders were more active during CDM. Kisan Mahasabhas. Your introduction was good. Body can be slightly better. Okay. You can give more points. Here you can see the answer by Sriram. How he included many points within the side headings. For introduction, others can see how Rajni has put up her introduction. And straight away she is coming to the core demand of the question. In introduction also she did not compromise. Again, conclusion is good. Introduction and conclusion is very good, Rajni. For the body part, maybe for the side headings you have given, you can definitely add few more points. Is it clear, ma?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is the 4 questions which we have done today. So please try to understand the approach. I am not going to focus more on the content because content is something which you people are doing regularly and it comes with revision and practice, not at all a problem. Only thing you have to always take away from our classes is the approach which you are trying to see and how we are trying to approach a particular question. So when you're doing so many questions over so many days and so many months, it will be printed in your mind And from there you can definitely go and improvise upon. Clear? Is today's class clear to everyone?
Clear, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Let's
Yes, sir.